Welcome to this week's vlog. I'm sure that many of you have seen the Country File episode from Sunday. I can only say a heartfelt thank you to the Rees family for being willing to share everything that they're going through. There are so many people that are caught in that situation where they have no ability to plan. I gave evidence to the House of Lords Finance Subcommittee on Monday and highlighted the cruel forestalling clause which is contained within the bill. It means that there is no ability for those people to plan under the old regime, despite being told it wouldn't change, and it really is incredibly cruel. We know that Country File programme has resonated right the way across Westminster. We've sent it out to all MPs so they can't fail to have seen it, and hopefully it will galvanise them and it will make them willing to continue this fight as we approach a critical stage in the run-up to the budget and then amendments as we move further forward. Liberal Democrat MP also arranged a drop-in session in the House of Parliament on Tuesday. Several MPs came through there of all parties to have that conversation, continue the discussion and work out what could happen next. Thank you to everyone that attended. We're also going to utilise our supporters database, which has over 500,000 people that have signed up to support farming in the UK. We're going to send that clip out to all of those supporters and ask them to write into their MP. We really are at the 11th hour now, and it's crucial that we continue to do everything possible to try and get change and hopefully mitigate the impacts on those that are worst impacted. On Tuesday, I also met Dame Angela Eagle. There's a lot of different topics that we need to discuss. TB policy needs an urgent refresh. At the moment, it really is not going in the right direction. There'd been a debate in Parliament a few weeks ago, and so it was a really important conversation with Angela Eagle to stress the urgent need to really get that strategy in place. We talked about the need for clarity around seasonal workers numbers. That's something that, following her visit down to Kent, hopefully will be forthcoming very imminently. We also talked about the need for transparency. Unless we know how the budget is allocated and how much headroom there is for the SFI, for other ELMS options, but also within TB, it's very difficult for us to make sure we're calling for the right actions. She has committed to that level of transparency, and I hope that's something that we can continue to work on as we move forwards. Other topics of conversation were avian influenza, the need for a vaccine to deal with AI. I'm sure that many of you will have seen that a housing order has come in the north of the country and parts of the Midlands and the East. This housing order is desperately needed with the pressure we're seeing from avian influenza at the moment. It was a very constructive meeting with the Farming Minister, and I hope that she's able to take away from that we really want to be a constructive partner, and that to do that we also need to have more detailed information so that we really can make sure we're delivering the policies that work for you but that are within the budget of the department. Finally this week I've been in to see Martin Hewitt, who is the Border Force Commander, to stress the urgency around making sure that our borders are properly controlled. Illegal meat imports risk not only our animal health and welfare if we were to get something like foot and mouth, but also the reputation of all the food that we're producing here. Because nobody, in the event of an outbreak of disease, nobody would be able to trace where that disease has come from, and it risks the very reputation that farmers are so proud of. So another really important conversation to make sure that the resources necessary can go into our border forces to try and mitigate the risk of that disease coming in. Thank you very much for listening to this week's vlog. Still a huge amount going on, and I look forward to speaking to you next week.